Hello, dear friends. My name is Anastasia Karagina. I'm assistant professor at Michigan State University. And today I will tell you about natural way of managing back pain. Can you ask, why is it back pain? The reason that many people, like million people around the globe, suffer from back pain. And the main problem, because it happens, it's aging, of course. The second factor important is different kind of traumatic events, like car accidents, injuries at sport, or even bad diet could be the reason for back injury. But then when it happens, people suffer from vertebral issues or disc degeneration. And when there is a disc degeneration, usually the treatment is conservative. So, for example, when people experience this problem, first the doctors prescribe exercises. Yoga is actually very good for mild injuries. But then when injuries become more pronounced, more devastating, then doctors have to do steroid injections to alleviate pain. And this pain becomes like everyday occurrence for people with spinal damage, with vertebral damage, with disc damage. And what happens eventually, these people lose mobility, or they suffer from serious consequences. So the reason why I'm talking today to you about pain management, that actually science is not sitting doing nothing. Science actually moving forward and discovering new ways of treating diseases. So very fancy, very fashionable direction in science right now, it's actually to use our body resource, our healing abilities to heal our body. And one of the ways to use our body's natural healing abilities is actually use mesenchymal stem cells. So many of you heard about stem cells, but mostly what you heard about, it was embryonal stem cells. So these stem cells can be derived from embryos. And these cells are controversial because embryos actually it's future human beings, and taking these cells for research is actually not ethical. But when we talk about mesenchymal stem cells, this is so-called adult stem cells. So these stem cells that we can find in any organ and or tissue of adult person, and specifically bone marrow. So what's so special about bone marrow? Bone marrow produces blood cells throughout whole life. So basically all our red cells, white cells, everything is derived from the bone marrow. But bone marrow also produces so-called mesenchymal stem cells. And these stem cells have ability to go to any tissue, any organ in our body and differentiate into different cell type. But how it helps to people with back pain is actually that these mesenchymal stem cells, they kind of have a very high inclination to become cells that comprise the intervertebral disc. So basically, when people have disc problems, when they have a disc, herniated disc, or where they have a degeneration of disc tissue, mesenchymal stem cells come from the bone marrow. They go specifically to damaged site and they become cells of the disc. And after they become cells of the disc, they start producing so-called extracellular matrix. It's proteins that make disc so flexible. You understand that discs usually, it's kind of semi-solid tissue. It's more like cartilage, but it's semi-solid, which means that it can be compressed when we bend over, when we use our spine, the disc compressed, but it has to be rigid enough to be able to kind of spring back to its original shape without being compressed totally. And that's what happens when cells that comprise this disc, they produce enough proteins, enough molecules that maintain structure of the disc. And this is the hardest part because our body kind of loses ability to regenerate these cells. But then mesenchymal stem cells coming from bone marrow, they start repairing it, and they control inflammation, so they eliminate inflammation, and eventually people feel much better. Indeed, there are several clinical trials, actually multiple clinical trials going on around the globe when people receive exogenous mesenchymal stem cells, which means that somebody donated tissue, scientists isolated stem cells from that tissue, and they inject into the patient at the place of the damage. So basically injection happens inside of the spine, and by itself this injection is not very safe procedure. It may have some side effects. But what we already know, there are multiple clinical trials showing when people get injection of stem cells, first of all, within 3 months, they have improvement in pain, no pain. They have improvement in disability status. If they go on disability, they become actually more flexible. Then they have higher mobility, so their spine moves much better. And eventually, with time, scientists found even if you do MRI 1 year after injection of stem cells into spinal disc or around the damaged vertebra, people get wonderful results even 1 year later. So basically, this effect is long-lasting, and people have benefits, no pain, higher flexibility, higher mobility for a long time. And these are clinical trials. So this is exciting, but you can realize that clinical trials are very limited. This is just research, so basically units, like dozens of people around the globe gets in the clinical trials, whereas there are millions of people suffering from the problem. So some other scientists decided, okay, we need to develop drug that we can give to patients, and this drug will stimulate bone marrow to produce stem cells, and these stem cells will do the job, and they fix back pain. Unfortunately, this drug is never was designed and was developed by pharmaceutical companies. However, there is a natural way to stimulate stem cells. And this way was discovered by Christian Drapeau. He's from Canada. He's a scientist who studies plants and how these plants influence human health. By traveling around the globe and researching these plants, Dr. Drapeau found that there are 3 plants. Actually, these plants grow in different locations around the globe, but they have the same unique ability. They can stimulate our bone marrow to release stem cells. So basically, whatever pharmaceutical companies were not successful to do, Mother Nature already developed and presented us with this gift, and Dr. Drapeau discovered it. So basically what happens when we take this plant supplement, we take extract of these plants, these extracts go into our bone marrow with bloodstream, and they stimulate, kind of unglue stem cells from the bone marrow matrix, and that's how stem cells released into the bloodstream. And bone marrow has the ability, when it senses that there is depletion of stem cells in the depot, it produces more and kind of replaces cells that went into the circulation. So that's how we can maintain pool of stem cells in our bone marrow, and we have enough stem cells circulating in the bloodstream. And these stem cells have very unique mechanisms. So they kind of smart in this way. They know where is the damage. So they kind of sense the damage because they sense chemicals produced at the damaged site. So damaged cells, damaged tissue produces specific chemical signals saying like, danger, I need your help, or save our souls, SOS. So these mesenchymal stem cells can sense it and come to that place and fix it. And that's what happens when people take this plant-derived supplement. So you may tell, okay, it sounds good, but I mean, it sounds like very unscientific. You take some plant extract and you get something. It sounds like I'm drinking tea every day. Who cares? But actually, there are more and more research going on natural plants, on substances derived from plants, and how they can help to improve our health. So when you think that this is something like not serious, the plant extract, in fact, it's actually works stronger than powerful medication. And when we started looking, I actually started looking into these plant-derived substances that developed by Dr. Drapeau. And I started looking, okay, how does it work in real life? So it sounds too good to be true, honestly. And when people started taking it, we started seeing that, first of all, the first thing that we noticed when people start taking this supplement is pain. Pain goes away, and including back pain. And why is it happening? You can ask, this sounds like a miracle. Actually, it happens because mesenchymal stem cells produce specific chemical called interleukin-10. And interleukin-10 is a kind of signal between cells. It kind of postal, like postman. It brings message from one cell to another. And usually this signal tells other cells, first of all, decrease inflammation, eliminate inflammation. So it completely eliminates inflammation. It tells immune system, stop, we need to repair, not to destroy. And the second message this chemical gives, the second message is that we have to eliminate pain. We're not processing pain signal. We're not sending it to the brain. So brain doesn't feel pain anymore. That's what interleukin-10 does. And that's why people actually don't feel that much pain anymore. And eventually, they feel that they can move normally, their spine feels well, and they start basically doing a lot of things that they were not able to do because of back pain. And actually on the screen on Zoom, we have on our call, we have Elvira Tarskaya. She is the person actually who was engaged in this experiment from the very beginning. So she started a year ago, and she had multiple damages into her in her spine, and she had problems with trauma because of, and she will tell more about what happened to her and how she feels now versus how she felt before she started this journey. Okay, Elvira, this is yours.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elvira Tarskaya, and I would like to share my story. In August 2014, I got in one car accident. From that car accident, I got TMJ damaged, and I got, I think, one disc. It was little minor. So I was going through a recovery, and when the first time I drove after first car accident, I got in a second car accident, and that was horrible because I could see the impact that the female was about to hit me. So I got so many damages from that. I got 4 herniated disc. You can see on Anastasia's slides. Probably if Anastasia would show you my MRI reports and images. I got 4 herniated disc on my neck and 5 herniated discs on my lower back. Then I got twisted tailbone, bursitis of the shoulder, bursitis of the shoulder, and carpal tunnels on both arms, and a few damages in my knee. So I was going through the therapy 5 days a week for a few years, since through 2019. And I was getting every 6 months steroid shots. And I want to show you what kind of life I had and how that pain and everything. My life was horrible. This is me from the steroid shots. Wow. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't do dishes. It took me 2-3 times just to load and unload dishwasher. Let me tell you what I did today after I've been taking Scrum Active and I love this product. So what have I done today? I'm still active. So it's like today was late start of school. So instead of 9 o'clock, I started working at 10 o'clock. And now I have Airbnb houses. So I cleaned 5 bedrooms. I cleaned 2 houses, 3 bathrooms, and then I decided to change the curtains rods So I installed 3 curtain rods and did 3 laundries. And then when I was about to leave, I see it at just 2 o'clock and I need to be at home to pick up my kid from school at 4 to take the piano class. So I said, like, what should I do for two more hours? So I decided to cut the lawn. So I cut the lawn. It's like not small the yard. And then I came home. I did the dinner for the kids. I took my kid to piano. I was driving 35 minutes back and forward. So and before I could not even be in the car in a sitting position more than 20 minutes. Everybody knows. And now I'm still active. I lost so much weight. And if you want, I can even do squats for you.
Wow, Elvira, this is amazing. And I wish I could show you tests, your MRI tests. It's really hard. For some reason, my Zoom doesn't show it without slides. But I can tell you that this is amazing transformation. So you had epidural steroid injections prescribed by your doctor. How frequently did you do epidurals?
Every 6 months.
So every 6 months you had to do steroid shot. Wow. How frequently do you do now? Like, do you still continue?
No, the last time was I think 2018.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And how long did it take for you to go from being completely disabled, like from suffering from excruciating pain, to a person who actually can do stuff and can enjoy life?
It took me a few years, the last 4 years since I met Anastasia Karagina. She introduced me to supplements to lose weight. So I started my process from losing weight to reduce the weight on my spine. And then one last year, Anastasia was introduced to the STEM Active. She introduced me as well. And I started taking at the same time. And now I can see the results. I don't have pain at all. In March, I drove 12 hours straight without stopping, just for a few stops to the bathroom, and that's it. With zero pain in my spine, in my back, and in my tailbone. And tailbone, they said there is no cure. There is nothing can help. You know, do you see me sitting? Look how I'm getting up.
Wow. And
nobody gets up like this with a back pain and tailbone.
Yeah, that's true, because I know many people who suffer from back pain, and actually their pain gets worse with every year. It gets worse. It never gets better. In your case, it's amazing. And you just took plant-derived supplement. That's the power of plants.
And it's very affordable. It's not only me. My husband, he also suffered from the back pain, and he very skeptical. I have a video on my Instagram where he's sharing his testimony, how this product helped him.
Yeah, I remember he mentioned that his back pain goes away when he takes it. And actually, I have hundreds of people who witnessed the same thing, that when they take this supplement, their pain goes away. And actually, for many people, especially the younger people, this pain goes for good. So they never have it again. It's completely reversed to normal conditions. So this is exciting. And I want to just to show some video that's showing what happens to herniated discs, like how it looks like. I already mentioned that discs get damaged and they kind of protrude. And I want to show you this video of the disc. Let me start this video.
Lifestyle, regular exercise, weight loss, and physical therapy can all play a crucial role in managing IVDD. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs can also help control pain. When these conservative treatments don't provide relief, there are surgical interventions, which can include partial resection of the herniated disc. Despite these options, they have their limitations. This is where the exciting field of regenerative medicine comes into play. Mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs, have recently emerged as a promising regenerative therapy for IVDD. These cells are capable of restoring degenerated cells, differentiating into disc cells, and their multiple effect are mediated by the secretion of soluble factors. MSCs have high regenerative, anti-inflammatory, anti-apoptotic, anti-angiogenic, and immunomodulatory abilities. They can repair tissue damage and regulate cellular immunity by producing various types of bioactive molecules when they come into contact with a damaged tissue. In fact, clinical trials are already showing promising results. In a pilot study using bone marrow stem cells, researchers saw significant recovery of pain and disability in just 3 months. And MRI results also demonstrated partial disc healing. To recap, intervertebral disc degeneration, or IVDD, is a common cause of lower back pain. It's caused by a variety of factors, including aging and certain genetic abnormalities. Treatment can range from lifestyle changes and medication to surgical interventions, and exciting new research into regenerative medicine and the use of mesenchymal stem cells is offering hope for even more effective treatments in the future. Lower back pain can be a real pain in the, back. But understanding the causes and treatment options can help you take control and get back to living your life.
Okay, guys. So basically that was our short introduction into back pain management using natural plants, using plant-derived extracts. And we've heard wonderful story of Elvira, how she transformed her life from being completely disabled to a person who has like big family, a lot of kids, and enjoying her life. So if you want to know more information about this wonderful plant-derived supplement called STEM Active, please don't hesitate to contact us. And our team email and contact information will be sent you by email after this presentation. And see you next time.